Do you have any information regarding the President of the United States accepting any bribes?
No.
Do you have any information regarding any criminal activity that the President of the United States has been involved with at all?
No.
That was Republican Congressman Chris Stewart questioning the former U.S. ambassador to Ukraine, Marie Yovanovitch, during today's hearing. For more on lawmakers' strategy today, I want to bring in CBSN political contributor Molly Hooper, CBS News contributor and Republican strategist Leslie Sanchez, and CBSN political contributor Antoine Seawright, who's a Democratic strategist, senior advisor for the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, and CEO of Blueprint Strategy. Welcome to all of you. Thank you so much for being with us. Antoine, I want to start with you. Did the Democrats have a good day today? Was Yovanovitch a good witness for them?
Well, I think she was a perfect witness, a decorated, trusted public servant that Democrats and Republicans agreed to have so much credibility to any case she presents. She also laid the foundation and the groundwork and gave some confirmation, I think, and some relevancy to some of the discussions being had about Rudy Giuliani's shadow Secretary of State role in the region and about the matters as relates to the Bidens that continues to be debunked or shot down every which way the Republicans try to bring it up. And the fact of the matter is what she was able to do today was to set the tone for how these hearings, I think, will continue to move forward, and that the Republicans can't pin down a strategy or try to intimidate, tamper, or discredit a witness.
Now, let's talk about that for a second. Leslie, what did you make of the president's tweet during the hearings? I mean, clearly it caught a lot of people off guard, including Republicans at the hearing who had to huddle and sort of decide how to handle this. What did you make of that tweet, and what did you make of Republicans' response to it?
I think the president's tweet was a tweet. It wasn't a treat. It was a tweet. It was
a treat for us.
It
for the Republicans.
It was not a treat for the Republicans. We love alliteration. However, it was it was a distraction, and that's the bottom line. Take away whatever you want. You can, there's this kind of idea that it was some sort of intimidation, but it really was a distraction of what was happening. And again, I think the Republicans after this hearing came back with the right response, where they said this did not address the inquiry of impeachment, anything related to impeachment. And for that reason, I think we have to keep going back to what the main focus of the hearing should be.
So now we know that Democrats are sort of focused on this, though, as witness intimidation. So is that also a distraction? Molly, I want you to comment on that. This idea that now we have one more, perhaps, article of impeachment.
Well, I think that that they definitely can coalesce around it, because this happened in real time, not behind closed doors. It happened in the middle of a hearing where you do, like Antoine said, decorated veteran of the Foreign Service. She went through her whole bio. Her parents had escaped from, first of all, Stalin's Russia, then to end up in Nazi Germany, and they had to escape from that. And this woman had dedicated her life to, she even said, 5 hardship posts. We're not talking about frou-frou ambassadorial positions.
She wasn't ambassador to Paris.
She was not ambassador in France. That she was not. And she had done this. She had committed herself to this. And even Republicans, you look at like Will Hurd, who went through her, essentially through her bios, is commending her for all of her accolades that she won as a Foreign Service officer. So, that was not to be disrupted. But then in the middle of her testimony, when the Democrats are asking questions, the president weighs in with this tweet about, hey, wherever she went, it was bad. Look at what happened in Mogadishu. I mean, when you think of Mogadishu and you think of a couple of years ago, you think about Black Hawk Down. Well, she was there before Black Hawk Down, but there was a clear implication that was related to her service. And so even though it wasn't explicitly said, I can see Democrats thinking, hey, we've got something that we can go to.
It's the whole kitchen sink thing again, though. The distraction of the president's Trump, that with good merit. I think Will Hurd did a very good job of saying that this is not a personal attack or a character assassination. Right. And the president may be trying to do that, but that's not what the House Republicans are trying to do. They're trying to see if there is merit behind the issue of the July phone call.
So is that the case if you were the president's, press secretary, you say, please, Mr. President, put down the phone. You're not doing the Republicans any favors right now.
Which ones? The ones that are all running out of the White House? Let's just, I see them on Dancing with the Stars, but I never see them again. The reality is that telling the president, there have been many people, decorated military, officers who've been, everybody's tried to tell from leadership down president to conform to a certain way things are done in Washington.
He simply just doesn't.
He just doesn't do that. And the base responds to that. So again, this is a political hearing, not a criminal one in that sense. And we have to keep going back to that. Ed O'Keefe keeps reminding us of that. But I think the members were very good about saying, did he do anything? You know, when you saw Chris Stewart, the clip we just showed, was there any sense of bribery? No.
Right.
Was there any sense of anything illegal like that? No.
So, Leslie, you think Republicans also had a good day?
I think they had a good day, and tethering it back to why are we here? And did it meet that purpose? And it's not a closing argument. And Democrats will say, well, we're nowhere close to it. But people have lost patience with
and
this
not only
political
that,
charade.
for the Republicans, what they were able to extract from Yovanovitch, and perhaps extract's not the right word, but she did concede that she thought it wasn't a conflict of interest for Hunter Biden to be, receiving payments from Burisma while his father was the Ukraine point person, and she said that.
She did, and that goes to the honesty and integrity one could argue about her. But I don't think that anything about these hearings are going to change Republicans' minds about this process or about the facts. Look, they came into this wanted to damage or pour water on the facts and the process from the beginning. So I don't know if the posture or anything that comes out is going to change Republican minds. That's not the point. The point is to flush out the corruption in the public atmosphere in which the Republicans asked for because they want to make a mockery of the process. So we're not changing members on the committee's minds or people in the conference. That's not going to happen. We're not going to change the minds of most of the U.S. senators in the Republican conference. There are a few, 5, who have elections that are in politically sexy districts with Democrats who have not committed to the Mitch McConnell posture. However, I think when it's all said and done, when we put all this together, remember it's a marathon, not a sprint, when we put all of this together, I think Democrats are going to have a strong case to make about national security and how this is a dangerous precedent if we don't check this president on what he has done.
Just on the basis of that storyline right there, you could say what also was disclosed that the Obama administration had prepped her during her confirmation hearings, talking about Hunter Biden and the whole issue, and that came up multiple times that this was done by the Obama administration.
They were aware
and
that it was
she
a
was
conflict,
aware, and
yeah.
maybe there were
Perceived
multiple
conflict. That's what she said.
Perceived
Her words were
come
perceived.
on, that was a conflict,
Right.
And that's a legitimate conflict, and it was
she had
raised.
her answer was to direct them back to the vice president's office.
Right.
What a crazy! And she said, "I didn't want." That's a crazy response. Direct it back because she knew that was a political hotspot.
The prosecutor that Joe Biden was trying to get fired was not looking into companies like Burisma hard enough. That's why he was fired, not because he wasn't looking into Burisma.
Details, schmetails, right? I mean, the real jury here is the American people and voters in districts. And actually, Rikki made a very interesting point earlier today when she said, how are suburban women going to look upon this testimony? Because you have this decorated Foreign Service officer.
The Republicans attacked.
They did not try to attack her, but the president's tweet came off as an attack that Republicans, thank goodness they had that vote on the House floor and were able to take 40 minutes to regroup because that really did throw an iron in the fire. And so again, it's how those suburban women perceive what
I'm glad
happened.
she brought that up because I poll a lot and survey and focus group a lot of suburban women. And they're focused on getting their kids to soccer practice and lacrosse and all these different things. So they're looking very quickly. Is there in a snackable content? Is there a there? And right now
there's no there.
There's no there.
Their
It's a sympathetic
yeah.
character, and Democrats use that as a pejorative. And I don't think that's the case. I think she's sympathetic in the sense that people can relate how she felt. This is a terrible experience for any person to have to go through and have their judgment and their career questioned in that way. But again, does this
So
connect?
that's the 15-second takeaway for the suburban soccer mom.
And
She's
she
like,
also
nice
conceded
woman. I feel bad for what she went through.
Honorable
But
public service, but does this merit impeachment?
Right.
No. How do those two pieces come together? They don't.
I think we have to remember impeachment and removal are two different things. And I think that Republicans want the Democrats to say, okay, he asked a foreign entity to dig up dirt on a political opponent and say, you know what, it's just Donald Trump. he's not one of us, he's not the system, so we should just ignore it and go away. Keep in mind the timing of all of this. This is what gets lost and is so frustrating. A day after the Mueller hearing, which the president felt like he did nothing wrong, he was cleared of wrongdoing, this phone call happened. And now, if we don't do anything, the Republicans are trying to say he was cleared of Mueller because he didn't do anything, and Trump's saying, okay, I didn't do anything then, this is okay too. So what's going to be next? Is it going to be next, the next Republican senator or House member is going to ask Russia or whoever else to dig up dirt, and we're going to say that's okay because they're not part of the system? That's the point where I think Democrats and Republicans have always had a long history of agreeing about the national security and how we move forward.
This is the frustrating part. That sounds like the broken record. And with
But it's the truth, Leslie.
with the deepest respect to my brilliant colleague on the left, it is over and over. He feels like he is, he's cleared of all wrongdoing. He was cleared. The Mueller report, there was all this hand wringing.
He wasn't cleared of obstruction. He wasn't cleared of obstruction.
That's not true. He was not
There
cleared.
was all of this hand wringing that they were going to bring down the president with that, and
He
they
was
did
cleared
not.
of collusion with Russia, but he wasn't cleared of
No,
obstruction.
he
And the
it was-
report said we'll leave it up to the
Absolutely.
Congress.
Yes, but what has the Congress done? That's the thing. What has the Congress
so
done?
moving forward, so
date?
let's not
Muddy the two.
Muddy
All
the
right,
two.
you guys are all making great points, so we're going to leave it on these fabulous points that you're making for the moment. Leslie, Molly, and Antoine, thank you so much.